Okay.
Did you enjoy it? You could use a break from your work. He's moving backward in order to move forward. And you know it's not just about him. You know, I don't know who he was. She pretended, believed it didn't matter. And what this family suffers from is not an illness. It's just hypersensitivity, loose filters. If used properly, it can be a gift. I know that Grandma's death was hardest on you. Christine, honey, Grandma, we're not that different from anyone else. We just experience things more intensely, on a grander scale. But now we're all just supposed to think we're ill. I'm anxious, give me a pill. I'm depressed, give me a pill. I'm suffering, give me a pill. Of course you are, you're human, you're... And I won't let Michael become another victim of modern medicine. Psychiatrists don't treat people, they treat symptoms. I don't know exactly what Michael is confronting, but whatever it is, drugs won't make it go away. They'll just hide it for a while, hide it while it grows stronger. Stronger and more dangerous. We used to lock people up in asylums and carve out bits of their brains. Now we use walls no one can see and scalpels that no one can see. Imagine the protests. Imagine the outrage if 1 in 5 of us were physically locked up. If 1 in 5 of us had scalpels applied to our brain matter. What we are doing is worse. Worse because it's more subtle. Drugs cannot stop the evolution of the human mind. And neither can false convictions or academic theories you only pretend to believe in. There is nothing less solid than a belief. We're all an experiment, whether we like it or not. Then why don't you write to her, Christine? Maybe she'll drop whatever great protest she's involved in, whatever all-important cause it happens to be at this moment, and come and rescue her son. But you probably don't know where she is, do you? Michael... He was always so sensitive and serious. He has to see this thing through. You know that I am not cold. The path Michael is on is who he is, and that kind of path is never a safe one. To deprive him of it would be worse than death. It would be nullification. We've been sending emails. He was scared and he turned to me. Something was happening to him he didn't understand. He knew I would understand. He said he felt like something very old had woken up inside of him, like an ancient dragon. He said his blood was on fire, his organs burning. Then his episodes started. Next is the scene between George and Charles. Don't you watch the news, Charlie? Only when it's about you. Yes, I've certainly made enough of it, haven't I? And now, a last great burst of celebrity. You silly lost bastards! The cameras won't show that. Pussy reporter bastards. Oh. That's a hell of a storm that's coming. Will they make us evacuate? No one makes me do anything, only the devil. There's nothing I like better than sitting comfortably in a comfortable bed. Did you really think I would have allowed that maid to find that book by accident? 91 and I'm not a bit senile. That's just what I wanted the police to think. And it's exactly how their report reads. After successfully concealing the evidence for 60 years, Mr. Roswell, due presumably to the forgetfulness brought on by his advanced years, I couldn't have written it better myself. My mind still works perfectly, Charlie. I have thousands of things hidden in this huge house that would stop your heart beating 1,000 times over. No, Charlie, I gave her $10,000 to turn that book in. My last great burst of celebrity. I'm a willing prisoner here. I have my own helicopter on the roof. No one could stop me if I wanted to fly out of here. I was a hell of a pilot. I still am. I could have flown out of here any time. I still know how to fly, Charlie. And do you think the Air Force would shoot me down? The Secretary of Defense is an old lover of mine. Faggots still make the best warriors, just like in classical times. But the wind's too strong now. It's going to be a hell of a storm. Are they going to stay down there and drown? I won't allow them to. I've instructed the police to clear them out at the last minute. The reporters, too. I told them to use force if necessary. I want it to be just you and me at the end. My partner in my first great crime. Hit him with tear gas. Shoot the sorry fucks. Bye-bye, you sons of bitches. Peace. They were fun, but I didn't want them here at the end. Is this the end? A Category 5 hurricane crashing into a house 300 feet from the ocean? You tell me, Charlie. Just listen to that wind. Everyone's gone now. It's just you and me. Did you ever read that book, Charlie? Which one? Come on, Charlie. Yes, after the war. You sure got out of that nice and neat. Yes, sir. My plane crashed. I know you did a kamikaze, Charlie. I read the report. I don't remember. I read that too. Temporary amnesia. What I don't understand is how the hell you crashed your plane into a ship and came away without a scratch. Except for a little convenient amnesia, of course. Did you bail at the last second? There aren't many things I can't figure out, Charlie, but this one has me stumped for 60 years. I told you I don't remember. They found me floating in the ocean in a life raft from the destroyed ship. Tell me, how the hell did you do it, Charlie? Pure genius. Well, I guess I'll have to die with one mystery unsolved. But the Army psychiatrist's report, now that was truly fascinating. That was supposed to be confidential. Nothing is confidential, not if I want to know it. Charles Schmidt claims that when he regained consciousness, he was riding on the back of an enormous white whale. He believes the whale carried him to an empty lifeboat, deposited him there in safety, then plunged back down into the sea. Brilliant allegory, Charlie. The quack had probably never even heard of Moby Dick. At that point, neither had I. Help, I see everything twice. Brilliant. You then spent the rest of the war in the loony bin undergoing electroshock therapy and all sorts of other barbarisms. But then, as luck would have it, just as you would have had to choose between giving up your loony charade or undergo a partial lobotomy, peace was declared. What timing! And then after your discharge, you pursued an uneventful career as a New Orleans city librarian. Ah, how dull! Charlie, even for you. In 1992, your wife of 35 years committed suicide. That's enough. And I never pretended to be insane. I had just not yet learned to keep certain things to myself. Sanity is merely a question of discretion, and it wasn't the ECT that cured me. It was reading that book. That's when I read it, in the mental ward. Aha, now this is something I didn't know. You don't know so much about me. You'd be surprised, Charlie. I've made a point to know everything about everyone, and I never forget a detail. I was born with a hell of a mind. How do you think I got so damn far in the world? There isn't anyone that doesn't have something they wish I didn't know about them. Did you really do it? Have me kill all those people just to teach me something? Yes, Charlie, to teach you something, partly. But my main motive was to fuck with him. That's it.
God, it was 10 minutes. Oh, I shouldn't have talked, right?